Hey guys, this is David. I was trying to figure out a way to explain how InDesign works, and I'm gonna show you guys this little lesson that I created in Photoshop to hopefully get you guys to understand how InDesign thinks and works and why we use it. And first things first, when you create a new document in InDesign, what you should do is gather all the pictures and the text and the illustrations that you want to use in this multi-page document and create folders on like your documents or on the desktop. And you're going to name that one folder like project one folder. And inside that folder you would have folders for your photos, your Illustrator files, and your fonts, okay, that you're going to use. Especially if you find some text and some crazy font that you want to use, okay? And I'll tell you why. InDesign, when you're laying it out and you're placing photos into the InDesign document, say we have these cool little photos here of food and we place them in a box in our InDesign document. When you just view the document, you'll see, oh, those photos are there. Well, not really. Those photos really don't exist in this document that you're doing. What they are is they're linked. They're linked to this folder right here. So I'll just put a little arrow. Okay? And we'll change that to black real quick so you guys can see it. Okay? So it's linked. And why they link the images is because if you have a 20-page document and on each page you have like 10 photos, that's 200 photographs. And if they actually imported these high resolution 300 DPI documents into one publication, it would crash your computer. So what InDesign does is it says, okay, I'm going to use that photo that's over in that photos folder on your desktop, and I'm just going to link it. And I'm going to show you kind of a preview of what it's going to look like before you print it. Now, that's where it actually, when you go to print a document using InDesign, that's the point where it goes over, grabs that image and puts it in and sends it to press. When you're working in InDesign and you see those images, those aren't really there. They're in a folder and there's a link that links these two documents together. Okay, same on this photo right here. Okay, it's going to be linked too. Okay, so you have an illustration. Let's say you do a cool illustration in Illustrator, and that's the same thing. You'd have a folder, and this image right here would be linked to the InDesign. Okay, so same thing, just have a little arrow that links in there. Fonts too are a little bit tricky. Let's say you go to a cool website and you download like this really crazy font. Wow, that's a cool font. I want to use it. And so you download it, you put it in your fonts folder, and you open up InDesign, you start typing, and I have the coolest font ever. Unfortunately, when you email me, or not email me, but when you upload this InDesign document for me to grade, that font that you found and installed on your computer stays on your computer. It does not go with the InDesign document. Fonts are system files. They're installed into Windows or Mac OS. That way all the other applications that you have can use them. They don't go with you. Fonts can't magically go, through a document. The only time that they can is if you convert your font into a outline or some pixel-based program. Like if you had this font in Photoshop and you'd send it to me still as a font, I would get a message saying this font is not recognized, but you can rasterize the font. Okay, so for this first lesson, try to use just a standard font for now that I might have on my computer. Later on, I'll show you guys how to package this whole thing so when you send it to me, the photos will still be linked, the Illustrator file will be linked, and the fonts will be linked. Because let's say you do this document and you just send me the InDesign file. Well, when you send it to me, the photos that are in your InDesign file are still on the hard drive of your computer at home. The illustrations in your InDesign document are still on the computer at home, and the fonts are on the computer at home. And I might be a geek, but I do not have access to your computer at home. Okay, so for this first project, I'm not going to really worry about it too much. I just want some basic stuff in there and to kind of show me that you're able to place an image and type some text out and give me your name, that kind of stuff. Later on, we'll get much into broken links, because that's like one of the biggest problems with designers using InDesign when they're first learning it, is getting past this kind of confusion that none of this stuff actually exists in InDesign. Okay, because when you're like using Photoshop, you bring an image in, you manipulate it, you do some weird kind of effects to it. That photo's there, it goes everywhere with the Photoshop document. Same with Illustrator, not so much with InDesign. Okay, so this is the first one. Hope this kind of makes sense. I'm going to upload another tutorial on the InDesign interface and how to do the first project. Okay.